Okay, what I'll be making today are beef chimichangas, and then also I'm going to make 2 quesadillas. But I will be showing you first and foremost how to make the beef chimichangas. I've made these before, but I'm going to do these here a little bit different. First of all, we have a 9-ounce ribeye steak, and we have 11 ounces of hamburger patties, which I seasoned, and I'm going to put these back through the meat grinder and grind them all together, so we have a combination of steak and chuck together. This steak is a little bit darker because it was in cellophane and the light got to it in the refrigerator, but it's fine. In our chimichanga, we're going to use 1.5 ounces of diced up olives, medium salsa, low salt refried beans, and then this is 8 ounces of Taco Bell pepper jack cheese, and you can maybe able to find that in specialty stores. It's really good. It tastes kind of like Taco Bell's cheese, and it's got a hint of pepper jack in it also. I got it at a cheese store up north. So we'll go ahead and these here are our meat ingredients, what we're going to be seasoning the meat with, along with a little bit of my special taco seasoning I have here, which is cumin, chili powder, paprika, seasoning salt, pepper, garlic powder, just kind of a special blend I put together. So next I'm going to show you the sauce ingredients for our guacamole sauce. I'm going to do that instead of just a straight guacamole. It'll be more like a guacamole sour cream based sauce. And this here is enough to serve 4 to 6 people. Now for our guacamole sauce, I have 2 avocados, let's see, 1.5 ounces of black olives, and those are kind of cut up and diced up, 4 ounces or 1/2 cup of sour cream. We're going to use 1.5 ounces of 5-aged sharp cheddar, about a 1/2 ounce of medium salsa. We're going to use a little bit of real lemon juice there, or you can use a regular lemon if you have one. And then for add extra flavors, we're going to do about 1/8 teaspoon of hot chili powder, 1/8 teaspoon of cumin powder or comino powder, 1/4 teaspoon of garlic, and then 1/8 each of kosher salt and black red pepper blend. That's what we're going to put in there. So we'll go ahead and get started, and I'm going to cook these on the stove top, the meat, in my smoker pot. If you don't have a smoker pot, which looks like this, that's a smoker pot there for indoor with wood chips in the bottom of it. If you don't have one of those, you can just cook it in a skillet. Okay, so here we have our meat all ground up, ready to go on the smoker. So we'll go ahead and cook that for about a good 20-30 minutes. Let it smoke good. Okay, and just like an outside smoker, you don't want to leave this uncovered too long, otherwise you'll lose your smoke. So I'm just going to put that on there. As I say, let it cook down, and then what I'm going to do after it smokes good is simmer it. I'm going to simmer that in our ingredients that I showed you initially. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and let that smoke for about 20 minutes. Take it off, and then we'll simmer it in the skillet and get it ready. And in the meantime, I'm going to make our sauce. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do here, get this started, is just mash up our avocados there. Okay. Mash those up. I'm going to add our sour cream. Add our salsa. Basically, you're just mixing this up. Add our olives for texture. our cheese. Put a little bit of that in there, and then we're going to put the rest on top. Going to add our garlic and salt and pepper. It's in there. 1/8 teaspoon of cumin powder and hot chili powder. Now we squeeze a little bit of lemon juice in there. Okay. And basically we're just going to mix that up. And this will be a little different than just regular guacamole. I'm not a real big guacamole fan of guacamole by itself, but I think I can do it with something like this. And the key to this is letting it sit before you eat it. Letting it sit a good hour or so in the refrigerator. I'm going to mash that up again. Get those avocados nice and mashed, so it won't be as chunky as a guacamole either. This will be a pretty smooth sauce. Okay, get all that off of there. Okay, give it a nice stir, one more nice stir. And our meat is cooking as I'm doing this. I think I'll add a little bit of that Taco Bell cheese to that just to set it off a little bit with a little peppery taste in there. Okay, so we have our sauce there. I'll put that in a dish and get that ready. And now we'll go check our meat and see how it's coming along. Okay, check our meat. You can see that's coming along pretty good. Going to turn that a little bit, and this will give our, this is a really good smoker pot. Gives the meat a really good smoky flavor. Cook ribs on here, and it doesn't take it long to cook either. So I'm going to let that go about another 10 minutes. And then we're going to simmer that down some more. Alright. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is add our meat to our skillet here. As you can see, that comes back very tender and it's not all stuck together, and that's because that smoker pot kind of steams as it cooks, so it makes things very, very tender, almost like loose meat. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get that started and add our seasonings. I'll lay it out there. Okay, so we'll add our olives. I'm just going to put everything in there. Our salsa. We may have to add a little bit more salsa. And I'm going to add a little bit of the cheese because we got some more to put on top of the guacamole. A little bit of cheese in there. And we're not going to use that whole 8 ounces of the taco cheese. I think I'm going to add a little bit more salsa in there. Bit more moist, so you might want to go with, I'd say, about a 1/2 cup of salsa instead of 2 ounces. Put our seasonings in there. If you don't like black olives, don't put them in there. Some people don't like them. Black beans are good in this also. You don't want it to be too juicy, but you don't want it to be overly dry either. Okay. Add some of my special seasoning. And if you're using regular taco seasoning, which you can, just going to add a packet or so to this. This is over a pound of meat, so. And we're going to let this simmer so the flavors get through for about 15 minutes. It's on a very low simmer. And then when I come back, I'm going to put my beans in it, but I don't want my beans to cook all the way down. But you do want to make these when your meat is hot and also when your beans are hot. If you're going to just spread your beans in your chimichanga before you roll it up, because otherwise it can cause the tortilla to tear if you don't steam the tortilla properly. And to steam tortillas, you just basically put I usually use a damp set of napkins and put them in the microwave for about 10 seconds, and they'll be hot, but they're very easy to fold when they're like that. So we'll go ahead and let that simmer and come back and check on it in 15 minutes. Okay, our meat is done. As you can see, everything is put together nice. So what I'm going to do now is just put our beans in there while the meat is still fairly hot. And my tortillas just got done steaming in the microwave. So I'm just going to stir this around. Make sure you get them through all the meat, and this makes your meat stretch further also. And this is a good idea if you have a steak that's not big enough to actually cook by itself, or some burger patties around. You can always utilize them like this. Okay. Pull that away. Okay, so what we'll do next is go ahead and stuff our patties. Tortillas, rather. We want to stuff our patties, we're going to stuff our tortillas. Okay. And I have some grease heating up on the stove, and see, you want these to be nice and flexible. I want them to be real stiff. You don't want to overstuff these either, because if you do, and you go to cook them, the meat and stuff will come out, the filling. So that'll be a nice, hearty. I'll add a little bit more chimichanga. What you do is just fold these, fold that over, fold. Nice and snug. I put a little bit too much in there. And there you have it. Chimichanga like that. Okay, so I'll set that one there. This one I won't fill up quite as much. I might have a little problem with that one frying. I hope not, but I just might. This time I'm going to get that extra out of there. There we go. And let's try that again. Get that corner in there a little better. There we go. I like mine to be full, but hopefully this won't bite me when I go to fry it. Okay. There you have it. 2 nice chimichangas. And with the tortilla too, we're going to see how much those babies weigh out at. That one's about 8 ounces, and the tortilla is probably about 2 ounces of that, so about 6 ounces of meat. This one's got about 7.5 ounces of meat in there. Okay. And as I say, our grease is getting ready. So what I'm going to do now is fill up 2 quesadillas. that I'm going to be making for my mother and my brother. If I have enough meat for two. I may not have enough meat. I forgot to put my cheese inside of my chimichanga, but that's okay. I can put it on top of it when it's done. It melted over the top. It already has cheese in the meat anyway, so. And this is only going to make one nice fat quesadilla. Main thing with a quesadilla, you don't want to run your meat too close to the edge. Load this up with some cheese. Alright. Another over there. Okay. So there we have our quesadilla. And then I'm going to fry these. Or you can bake them, but I prefer to fry them. Okay, so we'll go ahead and fry our chimichanga. I'm going to do this one this way. Fry it like that. Quite a bit of grease in there, but that'll be alright. The main thing is just you're going to fry them just till they get light brown. You don't need to fry these a long time because the meat is already cooked. Just a minute or two per side. You have to be very careful flipping these also because they will come open on you. Okay, these should be about ready to come out. You can see, nice golden brown. If you want to get the edges, you can always hold those down and fry them, but I'm not going to go through all that. Side here, I will do this one like that. Just be careful not to let it tip into the grease because it'll splash. I don't want that. That came out just right. Just let them drain. And we'll go ahead and get our toppings together and do our quesadilla. And there we have our quesadilla starting to fry. We're just going to get that shell just a little crunchy. And if you like your shell to be crunchy after you cook it, when you warm it up, use the oven to warm it up in and stick it on the rack or either something like a cookie sheet. Don't use anything with deep sides, otherwise it's not going to come back crunchy. Okay, so I'll demonstrate how to get this baby out of here without tearing it up, hopefully. Get two like that. Set it on there like that. Turn this off. And then I'm going to show you how to flip it real quick. Okay, basically to flip it, just going to take it, leave it on the plate, take it, and you can just flip it over like that. And the filling will stay in there, as you can see. It's still on there, still intact. So that's how you flip a quesadilla without losing all your filling. Just put it in a double, or two plates. It doesn't have to be these, but two plates. Nice finished product, I think. Hopefully it'll taste good. See the inside of this. And got our cheese, and it's kind of sealed in there like I like it. See if we can take a little peek there. Oh yeah, we got our cheeses melted in there. Alright, that should be really good. I think she'll be pleased with that. And here we have it, the finished product. Okay, I'm about ready to dig into this and see what it's hidden for. I like a lot of meat, so I know them 6 ounces of beef. Hard to eat with my right hand when I'm left-handed. Oh. And it's smoky. That steak and that hamburger meat in there, that is good. Beef, bean, cheese, chimichanga. Go check it out.